Live.
All right. It is time for yet another C3 Comic Show podcast, coming at you guys from beautiful Bismarck, North Dakota, on this lovely winter evening. This is Mike,
Kyle,
Josh,
and Turnus.
You stole my pitch, Josh.
I'm sorry. It was about 3 cents short of $1, but I nailed it.
That's right. Well, first and foremost, thank you guys so very much for tuning in again to episode 2. Let us know what you guys think. Leave your comments and feedback and whatnot.
And we actually did get some comments on our last podcast, which thanks to everybody. Alan Burton. Sorry, man. I butchered your name. Mason Plefry, once again. And then somebody called Toy Lab. Yeah. All great discussions. Basically, everybody kind of diverged into how they feel about the whole aspect of digital comics, which we didn't really discuss on the show that much, but it kind of turned into that when everybody was commenting.
Yeah.
So we really like that. Let's keep that going.
Yeah, and I think the overall consensus is those that are collectors still want physical issues. Those that like to just read comics are definitely leaning towards digital these days. And I guess my stance that I threw out there is, if we're going to go digital, just let the retailers in on it. You know, if Marvel wants to let us sell, a $10 download card or something like that, I'll gladly buy it directly from Marvel or through Diamond. And if people could buy that here, cool.
And that really only makes sense to do it because, GameStop was kind of complaining about that earlier with the games, and they're going towards the digital market. So if you go into GameStop, how many different plastic cards can you buy with a code on the back that are digital downloads? Sure, you can buy them online, but people are used to going to the brick and mortar stores, so why not sell them a card?
And people just straight up don't like having their credit card attached to an account. Sony's been hacked. Xbox Live has been hacked.
PSN,
all these places has been hacked, and that's the one thing everybody says is, I want nothing to do with having my credit card associated with it. So yeah, having it at a retail makes a lot of sense.
I would gladly sell that. I would set them right up by the register, or give us an option to do reloadable cards, or
that'd be awesome.
Somebody they have to call up Marvel directly, get their Marvel card, come to their local retailer, and we figure out that software or whatever.
They don't have to worry about getting tricked into a recurring, because if you buy one thing on Xbox Live, even if it's not a membership, if it's a game, as soon as your card's on there, if you read, it's like, all right, you will be billed monthly for Xbox Live service. And then if you try to remove it, you have to go online, go through 4 different steps, and it's a hassle. Whereas if they came to your store, bought a prepaid card, that's the way to go.
Indeed.
Well, one thing I always thought I would like to see too would be cool would be you should get a digital download of an issue when you buy the physical copy.
Right. Marvel does that. DC does it too.
DC does that too.
Okay, cool.
But it tends to
more of a
be
thing.
Yeah, and it's an extra $1 or $2 depending on the publisher.
Don't you always see me hanging out just with my smartphone out, just scanning that code to every Marvel? Can I help you, sir? Nope.
Nope.
I'm good.
I'm good.
All right, you got to start having your comics in plastic bags from now on.
Yeah, seal them up. Yeah. Actually, I think Marvel does. I think they put their code in the. I'd have to grab
It's a sticker or something?
It's a sticker inside, usually in the middle of the book.
Yeah, it's going to say it's on a weird page. It's not on the front or back.
And the DCs are I think they're in the bags though, aren't they? Mm-hmm. The digitals, because it's just a code printed on the page.
Yep.
And it's not activatable at the register or anything, so there's really no stopping someone from just grabbing it.
No doubt. Yeah, and as we move forward, it is interesting. We are obviously in the digital revolution of things. We're seeing it everywhere. It's video games, it's movies, it's TV, everything. How many movies do you buy now that come with a digital download along with them? And we had talked about before, it's infinite money.
Yep.
For these companies. And I think part of me part of me doesn't like the fact that, you know, you don't have to be or as Ricky would say, it doesn't take rocket appliances to figure out that, you know, that file is sitting on a server somewhere. Multiple people are accessing it, and that's it. Is that file required, you know, for all things, or is that, here's your baseline, you know, is a $60 me downloading that file that's been downloaded a million times, you know, is that $60? Or personally, I think they should drop it $15 because you're not paying for production of disc, you're not paying for, you know, and that's where that $60 price
packaging,
point.
shipping, production.
Yeah,
But on the other hand, people are used to paying $60, so they will.
right.
I mean, I know.
Yeah,
I mean, don't get me wrong. As a consumer, you want stuff to be cheap, but you always, I mean, take a step back and look at it from the producer side. Is, you know, it's still the same product. People are used to paying $60. I mean, as a kid, my parents bought me games, and I didn't realize that they were $60 back then as well.
Mm-hmm.
So we've been paying $60 for new games for as long as the games have been around. So I really don't foresee the $60 price point going away, whether it's digital or physical.
Mm.
But my question is, how does it affect the collectability standpoint? If everything goes digital,
There is no more
there's
collectability.
there's no collectors. You know, there's not like,
Could be
oh,
100 years
made.
from now.
Yeah,
It's gonna be some
it's
guy
like
showing up with his freaking
flash
zip
drive,
drives.
yeah.
Yeah, it's like,
I can
have
see
that.
though limited production runs of stuff, like collectors only editions. Like I don't think we'll ever get away from like CDs or comics. They're just gonna print them in lower amounts, and they're gonna be more expensive. Like I could obviously, you know, paper comics as we know them might go away someday. Might happen. But what might happen is that everything's digital, and then we'll have digital collections that come out and trade paperbacks.
Yeah.
I can see that happening.
right.
You know what I mean?
Well, no, we
And-
have seen over this last year and a half, or now, like, you know, like Adventures of Superman and Batman 66 and all these comics that were digital first. Injustice was a digital first, and then the I guess fan demand brought it to print. But then how do you, I don't know, with digital files, you know, do you put a cap and be like, oh, this is limited to 5,000 downloads, or this is limited to 10,000 downloads?
There's no way
with
they
some,
could do that because
well,
then
you- well,
someone's going
if-
to torrent it
but if you make it, you know, you make it
with
locked.
like a key or something.
you
There's
know.
always ways around.
There's
it,
out
though.
though there is. I mean,
I
there is
mean,
definitely.
there's no if it exists digitally, people are gonna get it no matter what. That's kind of the bottom line. But one thing that really struck me as weird is, I mean, this is reaching way out on a limb here, but I just recently went through a move, and after all is said and done, I'm setting things up, and I'm like, this is all my games, this is all my movies. I didn't realize like how many I have digitally. Like it's really weird because you have all this endless amount of stuff, but then it's like you have nothing to show for it. Which is, I don't know, that's just kind of weird to me.
And I don't know, myself, I've always, like my PS3, I look at my last PS3 when my disk drive burnt out, and I was like, oh, awesome. You know, and I have like 35 games on there, still on my hard drive, so I can still use my PS3. But to go out, buy another PS3, and to have to re-download all those games, even though every piece of logic says I should just be able to hook up my Ethernets, transfer my account from my old machine to the new machine, but unfortunately you can't do that.
Oh, no,
you have to go in, and I would have to, when I set up that new PS3, I have to go back to the PlayStation Store, hope to hell that it still shows me as purchased, and you know, and in lieu of well, and here's the other thing with that is, like we talked about with a lot of the hacks and shit that's been going on, you know I've switched my PSN account more than once. You know, and it was like my first PS3, once that first hack happened, when was that, 3 years ago, I was done. I deleted that email, I deleted that account, and with it, everything, all my games that were on that system, because I can't access them anymore. You know, and even though Sony, it's like, oh, I set up my new account, yes, it's me, I proved it with a credit card and all that stuff, but I still couldn't go back and say, well, I owned Chrono Trigger, I owned Final Fantasy, I owned
So what we're
Fire
saying
Pro
is
Wrestling.
that our digital media collection are becoming to resemble our lives, where we have nothing to show for it.
Well, the other side of it too, and it's really annoying, is with the next gen Xbox One and PS4, it makes better logic to download digitally than it does by the disc. And the reason for that is, let's say you wanted to play a game, you get all excited, midnight releases. Those were the greatest thing ever, you know? Growing up, the Call of Duty ones, you'd go with your friends to GameStop, midnight release, wait in line for 2 hours. You get the game, you hurry home, it has a small little update, and then you're on playing in 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Now, I bought Halo,
Oh Christ! Yeah.
and I got a midnight release, physical copy, because I still like that. Put it in, it's downloading the entire fucking game, and I didn't get to play it for 2 days.
Yeah.
But if I had it digitally pre-ordered, it would have installed everything and then unlocked on the night.
No.
It would have
No,
still
no,
had to
no, no,
install.
no.
Oh, it still wouldn't have worked.
No, you got to play the campaign.
That's true.
2 days after it.
That's
the
true.
multiplayer didn't work for weeks.
Well, it still. I had it was my birthday. It came out on my birthday, and I'm a huge Halo fan, so I was all excited for it. So that weekend, I gathered some friends, and I was like, remember the golden days of Halo? We're gonna have this LAN party. Master Chief Collection come out. I got 2 of my friends to buy an Xbox One. It was gonna be awesome. But that game had other plans. We got to play 2 matchmaking games the whole weekend. We couldn't even LAN up and play play
Local. Yeah.
local.
There's
The only
no-
thing we could do is split screen, which is just there's
N64.
no reason for that.
That's some N64.
there's no reason
Yeah.
for that. And that brings me, going forward, I'm going to tell you guys, if you're going to pre-order a game, don't. Listen to this show.
Yes.
I'm going to torture myself and find out if the game is worth getting day one. Because, if we look at the latest games to come out, Master Chief Collection isn't the only one. Assassin's Creed.
Oh man, Unity. Yeah,
It was
I'm glad I did.
unplayable.
I had that pre-ordered. I'm glad I canceled it. And as of 2 weeks ago, I canceled all my remaining pre-orders for this year, which I thought I'd never do. And,
Far Cry 4 had the same thing. These games aren't playable on release date.
Yep.
And I really don't know who's to blame. If it's the marketer saying this needs to be out. With games becoming more advanced, they're gonna take longer to make, or it's gonna take more people to make them. One of the two. But
I think that's going to be like the consumer's fault in a sense, though, because they know that we'll still eat it up if they release it unfinished.
well,
I'm just going to stop everybody right now and just say, I think for the rest of the podcast, we're going to focus on our anger towards modern day consoles.
Yes.
I'm
fine
saying
with
that's
me.
where it's
I'm
going.
cool with that.
We recapped last time, and this week we have a theme.
I'm
So
cool with it. When they first came out and they said online only, all these features. For most of the people, that's not a problem. Especially
Right.
I'm a huge PC gamer. Can't play PC games without internet. That's just how it goes. So I didn't think it'd be a problem. Well, it's definitely turned into a problem. Kyle, how many times have you told me you're pissed off because you can't play NBA?
that's crazy too. Like the way NBA 2K works with the my character or whatever, he literally the whole point of the game is that you play a basketball game. Now, if I'm going too fast, somebody stop me. You play a basketball game, and then at the end of it, they give you so many points based on how well you did. If you are offline, you get no credit. You get none of those points. So you can still somewhat advance in the season, but your guy sucks at the beginning.
You never
like you're a
level up.
rookie,
Yeah.
right? And you never get better shooting. You never get better at dunking. You never get better at defense. So if you're not online, you might as well not even play. And there's been a couple times when their server has been down. And then also the hack, like we were talking about the hacks on over the Christmas. I thought, oh, well, that sucks. Well, basically, everything is useless then. I couldn't play a game.
Oh yeah.
I wanted to play Madden, which I downloaded digitally, which I thought, and you guys can correct me, but I thought originally what they said was that it only has to check in once every 24 hours.
That was the original plan.
That was the original plan, but since it couldn't find it at all, so it just said no. It just said, make sure we gotta validate that you own this.
And we're-
So
yeah.
there I am
Well, so here's
with the
my
download
question.
digital copy.
that
you know,
can't do anything with.
that I can't do anything with.
With NBA though is like, so you have to be online in order for your guy to get more stats. Like, can you go online and use your guy like on an online team?
You can play against other people online.
Okay, because I know like in NHL 14 you could do that too, where you
Online
would get
team play.
Yeah, online team play, and that makes sense. But I mean, like, if it kind of, I guess I just didn't understand fully. Kind of the way you worded it sounded like, yeah, you get points for being online, but then
Yeah,
If you want to
you're off,
progress
you
in
can't take
single
your guy
player,
online, so it's just
well, this
pointless
is
then.
single player, like,
Right.
Yeah.
As far as I know,
Yeah.
like.
which in any given situation, single player should never, in my opinion, should never have to be connected online.
no.
You know,
No.
there are plenty of households still without internet. You know, we should preface that. I mean, we are very spoiled. You know, as most gamers today. I mean, on average, we all have thousands of dollars invested into our gaming.
Easily.
And people, and it's just like, well, that doesn't seem right. But you think about it, and it's like we're all fortunate enough to have a nice TV and a stereo system and Wi-Fi at home, and you know, this is all this money that we pump into this as our form of entertainment. And there are plenty of households that don't. There's kids out there that just got that first PS3, that maybe just got that first PS2.
Whose parents don't really love them.
Yeah. And
They're the ones getting them that knockoff Wii from CVS with Pong and
yeah,
hey, but those work offline.
those work offline.
Those work
I was just
offline.
gonna say, you guys.
AV connection
fucking
required.
Yeah.
Super
that's all.
Nintendo.
Yeah.
Super Nintendo. That's all I need to
And
know.
yeah, I'm still a fan of retro games and stuff, but going forward, I mean, how big of a problem is this going to be? We've
Well,
seen it,
and you think
know?
about that on how many times, like, let's say, like a game in the future, well, like Skyrim. You know, I'm a huge Skyrim player.
Hell yeah.
Something like that, where once Elder Scrolls finally hits PS4 and Xbox One, that will be strictly online.
Well, it's
There
probably.
won't
I
be-
I can see it taking the Destiny route, and Destiny really doesn't fit this argument because it is an MMO. So I mean, it's got online in the game type, but you're looking at something that could easily be a single player experience like
Yeah.
Elder Scrolls, and it won't be.
Yeah.
I can guarantee it.
Well, right. You know, definitely. But like with Destiny, why can't you have that option? Or like Assassin's Creed Unity, which I mean, we talked a little bit before. That whole game was destroyed, but there's no option in there. I can't go in and say offline mode. Let me play my game. Let me store those points, and when I do jump online and I choose to connect it, or they give us the thumbs up and say, hey, we finally got this working, and I switch my guy from offline to online, update my character, yes. And you know,
Although I will give the PS4 a couple props. I was over at my friend Pete's house over a couple weekends ago, and I think it was right after, I think it was the 26th, and the PS Network was still down, but he could go onto something on his PS4 and turn off network connectivity, and he could still play, what was it? Far Cry 4.
right.
So he could still play it, you know, which, fuck you, Xbox.
Yeah.
You know, why can't I have that? And the second thing too that was really a big flaw of Xbox that we kind of noticed was he was downloading a game, and then I was like, well, you know, we should watch the interview, and he's like, okay. So he's like, all right, let's do it. And then you got to download an app for the video thing. It's not just built in, which whatever updates, but there's no way to just say, okay, do this, and have it do two at the same time.
Right.
It's gotta be in a
It was
queue.
a rigmarole, you know, to get to stop, because I think it was Sunset Overdrive, and it was gonna be, you know, another couple hours before that thing was done downloading. So he had to cancel the download, and it took 5 minutes to cancel. It wouldn't just stop. It had to do the cancel, and then we downloaded that app. Once we downloaded the app, then we could watch the movie. But the whole time, he just kept looking at me. He goes, "Not impressed, not impressed."
And
And I
which-
was
which-
like,
yeah,
I got to side with you because
What's strange
What the
about
heck?
that is,
Well-
is going unreleased. The PS4, better UI, better stuff than the Xbox One. But over the course of the updates, the Xbox One has slowly added more features and
It's getting up there.
is
And-
definitely, I think, a better console at this point. But
Although-
there's still go ahead. There's
Oh,
still so many problems. Both of them.
Well, on both sides. One big thing, as I've never owned an Xbox product. I've always relied on past roommates and whatever, and reviews from buddies.
Gypsies,
Yeah.
Traveling bands,
tramps,
But
Steve Miller bands.
and thieves.
yeah. with them doing the coax pass through, I thought that's something we've had since the NES days.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's no other console has done that, and for them, I think, like you're saying with that app and all that, I think essentially that's where that dual AV capability of the one would have come in handy, where they'd want you to switch to that to that external Blu-ray player or whatever,
Yep.
Yeah.
and then your system can remain on while you're still watching a movie. But then in that case, it actually kind of defeats the purpose, because then it's just as easy as switching the AV slot. Odds are your Blu-ray player is hooked up through a different slot in your TV anyways.
Yeah.
But the fact that Xbox has that technology, and I've had a couple of times like that, being able to watch football and play Madden during commercial breaks is a cool. I like that function. Just being able to, it's like, oh, we can be watching the game, the live TV game right there in the upper right the whole time while we're playing our game.
Yeah, a lot of people said the Xbox was gimmicky, and people didn't like that, but I don't understand that. The gimmicks are cool. I could come home after work, turn on the lights, say Xbox on, go make myself a sandwich from the kitchen, say Xbox, go to Netflix, and before I'm even sitting on the couch, it's ready to go. I didn't need to touch anything. It's on. I think the gimmicks are awesome. But
in that favor, PS4 has voice capabilities.
It does, yeah.
Now it does, yeah.
I will give you that the gimmicks on the Xbox One are awesome. I took a lot of issue with it when they first announced what they were going to do, mostly because of how it was presented. They brought it to E3 and they kept talking about fucking watching TV. Why would you do that? You can watch TV while you're playing games. You can watch, fuck off.
Yeah,
what can the games do, man? That's what I'm interested in.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit about
TiVo!
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
That was my issue with it. Was they presented all these things, and then even with the online too, people were saying, we don't want always online, and they kept saying, well, too bad, that's how it's going to be.
Yeah.
That's how it's...
And then once they finally came out and said, okay, we're taking the always online away from you, but here's what it was going to be capable of doing. Everybody's like, wait, why are you taking that away? That's awesome. You didn't explain that before. You just kept saying, no, it's going to have to always be connected. They had the game sharing thing. You can trade it back in your digital copies. It's going to be like Steam, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
But on Xbox, which is awesome. But they didn't fucking say that. They were so worried about TV that they lost everybody.
They really did. I don't know. They really didn't market it the best. I'll definitely agree with that. And
Which, with Microsoft, it's always weird where they draw their line in the sand. Where they're gonna stick it to you, where they're gonna put it. Because really, to be honest with you, they didn't have to change anything.
no,
They would have sold, I think, just as many Xboxes that get rid of that goddamn Kinect. I mean,
the Kinect is awesome. I never use it for anything but voice commands, but it's awesome.
a $2 microphone, you can build it into the system.
I've yet to
Wait,
I did use it for Skyping once. It was really cool.
Yeah,
My cat walked across and it saw it and it focused on the cat. It was cool.
And
anyway.
then don't get me wrong, I like the Kinect. It is cool for what it can do. It still isn't 100% with accuracy,
Right.
for tracking and things like that.
It's
But
much better than the 360 version.
Well, yeah.
A bajillion times. But the other side with that is going off of what Turnus said. Originally, they're like, nope, fuck you. This Kinect comes with every Xbox One. It won't work without it. And then when the PS4 started dominating them in sales,
lo and behold,
they're like, oh, alright, it can.
Yeah.
And it is funny in that sense that Sony, pretty much abandoned the Move aspect of things. Whereas it's like, hey, buy this controller and you get the camera, and then, oh, never mind. They just kind of...
Oh yeah, it's not working.
I don't even know if you can find I haven't seen a Move controller in the stores.
I don't think they really.
I still have one because I play the disc golf for the PS3
For sports
championships. Yep. It's amazing how much I suck at that game, even though I'm a pro in real life. But it's still fun to play. So if you guys ever want to beat me in disc golf, it's not going to happen in real life, but we'll come over and play.
There we go.
But the other thing too is the Steam box That's coming out this year, supposedly. And that'll be pretty cool because, like I said, consoles aside, my true love is my PC, mainly because of Dota, but that's neither here nor there. But, like, PC gaming compared to console gaming is a whole nother, beast. They always say, oh, you console peasants are having all these hacks and stuff, but, I mean, your PC is always online.
Yeah.
Your library is all digital. It's not physical. If Steam wanted to be dicks, like, what would you do if Steam was like, you don't have this game? I mean, luckily they don't do that, but they could.
Slap their DRM on. And,
yeah.
And then the fun thing with the PC stuff is that it's like you are prone to attack 100% of the time. Regardless.
Mm-hmm.
So long as, regardless of what your computer is, anywhere in the U.S., no matter how fancy of firewall and whatever else you have, we are at that point in time that if somebody wants your computer, they can have it.
Easily.
And whatever, you don't let that prevent you from, hopefully you don't let that fear prevent you from moving on with your life. But at any given time, hell, for all we know, there's somebody watching us through this camera.
What's up?
They are right now.
Right now.
It's a podcast, gentlemen. No one can see anything.
I will say this, though. Just kind of an aside. That is one of my least favorite things about the last couple of years that have happened is like being a Geek Squad agent. I work at Geek Squad, everybody. The word hacker now. Oh my god. Everybody comes
Everybody's
in like,
hacked. Yeah.
my Microsoft Word isn't working. I got hacked.
Yeah.
No, you just don't have it installed properly.
Yeah.
My Facebook got hacked. My friend said I like cocks on there. I don't actually like cocks. Sir, you didn't actually get hacked. You just left it open.
You left it logged in.
Oh.
That's true. The term hacked is pretty loose now.
That's
it's
the
super
worst.
loose.
I hate it.
And honestly, most of the time, this is going a little off topic, but just so you know,
We haven't started.
most of the time,
Yeah, whoa. Back the train up.
Alright, so if you're like being hacked, someone's not actually punching numbers into a hacking program.
Angelina Jolie is not sitting in the
Exactly,
corner of her
I was going to
face
say,
going,
Hugh Jackman is not getting blown while he's looking at cubes and making...
Yeah.
What was that?
pyramids.
Well, John Travolta's in the back.
Yeah.
Come on, you gotta do it faster.
No, it's all social engineering now, so it's like... the term hacked, it really, I mean...
Like, oh my god, we're in.
It's not... It's a joke. I mean...
these days, and we are at that point where, just like you said, it's like that term has lost all credibility in how anybody with a computer now...
Like musician, producer.
It's quite true.
Songwriter.
Yeah. I'm a songwriter. Yeah.
But it becomes anyone, like we're all, with Turnus and me and Kyle both work with computers. I mean, how many times has a family member asked you, like, can you help me hack into the neighbor's Wi-Fi?
Yeah.
I'm sure if you know anything about a computer, they just assume that you
We
can...
can't. What's your password, motherfucker?
That's how you gotta do it.
Kicking
Social
doors down.
engineering.
It does, and it comes from and myself formerly being in that industry as well, where everybody, I remember I had an aunt, she's unfortunately passed away, but it's like she would send me stuff because my dad was a programmer.
I'm sorry. Why did you laugh when he said I have an aunt and she passed away?
That's what I was laughing. I just laughed. It's like myself being in that industry. Surprise, guys. We're all nerds.
Yeah.
Shocker of the century right there.
Anyways,
Don't laugh at us. We'll hack into your computers.
Yes, we will.
Consequences will never be the same.
That's right.
Yes. Done goofed. Fucking cyber police. Oh my god. I missed that video.
Right on.
But in any, I don't know, it's just, if you're in hacking, it's just, no. You're not hacking anywhere. You're using social engineering to get what you need. There's a picture of your dog named Toby on your desk, so your password is Toby1 with a capital T.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all it
Zero
is.
and a zero for the O.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's how I hack into your computers.
Yeah. Keep your shit protected. That all being said, you have reached the 30-minute mark on this Z3 comic show podcast. Today we're talking computers. That's where the fourth C comes in. And consoles, the fifth C in the C3.
C5. C5 now.
See. We can keep going with the C's.
Crypto lock.
We're just
How
gonna
about
see
this?
how
C6.
See how many we can get on there.
Consequences never be the
Sailor
same.
went to
C7.
CCC.
But going back, somewhat on track. Speaking of DLC, that does have to do with comic books and has to do with a game that worked right out of the box. As
Number one pick of the year.
Yeah, Josh's number one pick. Lego Batman 3 out now for all consoles
Awesome
NPC.
game.
and PC.
Although I can't get it working on mine, but that's due to my own negligence.
I'll get that Net Zero uninstalled.
Yeah, I still have Netscape Navigator and
But yeah, so
I asked Bonsai Buddy for help.
yeah. Newsflash, he didn't help.
Jeeves.
He sent me to zombo.com where anything is possible. But yeah, that was kind of like going back to it. It was my pick of the year because A, it's fun, it's an awesome game, and we're all mad if you haven't told by now, you're really bad at picking up hints. But in any case, we're all mad at the state of gaming, and this game comes out, works the day of release. There's no stupid gimmicky DLC. There's no microtransactions. The game's awesome, and now it has DLC, and it's
Not gimmicky.
Yeah, not
Well,
gimmicky.
and that's and we should clarify because so far this has had 4 or 5 DLC packs already. It has
This will be number 4.
4. Okay, so
There
we had
was-
Superman.
There was
the
the Man of Steel, the Dark Knight trilogy, and Batman 66. Then there was a Batman Beyond character pack that was released, and now Arrow is going to be number. So,
5.
5,
Numero
yeah, 5.
cinco.
5,
Yes.
yeah. And then they got Rainbow Batman coming out next month too. So.
All right. That being said, the Dark Knight trilogy one really bummed me out because not to spoil it for you guys, but it consists of blowing some trucks up as the Joker and going back to the main menu.
There was one scene from one movie in the Dark Knight trilogy.
Yeah.
That was kind of frustrating.
You don't no Bane, like it doesn't
Yeah.
even.
Wow.
I was expecting it to continue, and it was like because you do the Joker thing, you're all amped up, like sweet. Now I'm gonna get back into Gotham, and Bane's gonna attack, and Talia's gonna show up, and
Nope.
Nothing.
nope. So that
Maybe.
might be another part of it.
Yeah, this
'Cause-
DLC definitely looks a lot more promising. And if you turn into our Friday show, the Game and Frame Connection,
Oh.
I'll be talking a little bit about it. So
Yeah,
that's
it's
my
gonna be-
shameless plug.
The Game and Frame, yes.
The game and train.
Not a bowling show. All things bowling.
We could do trick shots. I'm not opposed to that. I will be the bowling ball and somersault down the lane, knocking things over as I go.
I gotta tell you guys, I saw the first episode and it bowled me over. It was a real strike.
Lol.
I pinned it to my toolbar. Yeah. Wah, wah.
Wah, 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 wah.
So Green Arrow DLC pack for Lego Batman. And this is one of those fun deals that.
I'm sorry, can we go back to bowling puns?
Oh.
One more.
One more.
We don't have any spare puns left. I'm sorry.
Have I guttered it?
Now you're reaching.
God,
That's
You're done.
okay.
reaching.
Yeah.
Arrow.
Guys, when we're done, can we get some turkey? Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, it's bad.
Okay,
But anyway,
no more of that.
yeah. So
Anyways,
this
It's
DLC
Arrow.
is
Yes, sorry.
Arrow.
DLC.
is awesome. You know,
And so far what we've seen, we're gonna have some. What have we seen? We have got Green Arrow with Speedy in there. We got Deathstroke. We've got,
it's not. It's Slade,
It's
which
Slade.
is Deathstroke.
It's
but
yeah.
from what I've seen of the video of the small minute teaser it has, it looks like it's pretty much following the first season of Arrow, but only the part where he's trapped on the island.
Yep.
So it's more of an origin story than it is
Oh, right.
anything else. But there's Black Canary in there, and the cool thing is Stephen Amell, the person who voices Arrow in the show, is doing the voice for the game as well. So
Yep.
that's definitely really cool.
And I think we talked about it on our trip we took, but I think it was Pete's idea too. And one of the coolest ideas I heard for games would be to make an Arrow game like Batman. Solid, but he said the first piece of it is a $20 download where he's on the island.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's a cool idea.
Yeah.
Like, and then the whole game is
There's
when
your
he gets
first 5
when
hours
he gets
of
to the
DLC.
city, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So it could be a successful version of what they did with Metal Gear Solid.
Mm-hmm.
5 were.
Yeah. Well, the thing that you brought up that kind of like reminded me for doing is how Telltale did their Walking Dead game,
Sure,
and they released them in
incredible.
episodes. And yeah, those are amazing. If you haven't played them yet, pick them up right now. They're probably on sale on Steam. They're point and click adventures. I think they're on Xbox.
They were
and PS4
on
as well.
PSN. They were like $6.
But they release an episode every week. It's about an hour an episode, and it's well worth it. I'd like to see that become more of a norm for video games in the future. It doesn't have to be point and click. It can be.
Here's a new chapter.
Well,
$30,
let's
$5.
let's all say that I think that's kind of what Destiny was supposed to be.
That's what it
Yeah.
is, actually. They have. I read somewhere on the internet, so take it with a grain of salt, but supposedly they have plans for Destiny for like the next 7 years or some shit like that.
Yeah, and in that plan, it
I've heard
includes
that too.
Destiny
Yeah.
2
Yeah.
next November.
Yeah.
I don't know how.
I don't know. I'm still stuck on
Really?
level 22, and they can.
They have plans
And
for a
it's-
sequel.
Well, because you can only get up to like what is it, level 28 right now in Destiny?
30, I think,
Yeah,
if you
30,
get the
so
right
yeah,
armor.
so-
and
I've
stuff.
been stuck on 22 for 7-8 weeks.
Well, yeah, you have
I-
to find the armor. And
I've-
then-
Well,
And-
quit listening
and I-
to Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
It's okay. I'm on level. I got my guy leveled up to 6 right now. So
Hey, I started a second
Solid.
character just in hopes that I can figure it out. But yeah, my top guy, I've been stuck. I've done the raids. And if I pick up one more fucking Highlander helmet, I'm gonna throw the game away because that's all I get. I go into all night. I'm like, I get buddies. It's like they're up there, 27, 28, and it's like, here, join us on this raid so you can get some points and you'll get some armor. And I pick up one fucking, one Miller Lite can and two burritos, and then it's like, oh, and a Highlander helmet.
And that was-
and here's some Vanguard shin fucking things that are level 6.
Yep.
And it's like,
CM Punk texting gloves.
Now, I've never played another MMO unless you count DayZ, which is pretty cool.
I've heard
But
good things about that one.
I don't really consider that it is an MMO, but not in the sense of Destiny. But have you guys played World of Warcraft? How does that leveling up looting system work? I've never played
it's
it. So.
endless. It is. I gave up on World of Warcraft about 6 years ago.
But you're
And then
constantly
it's
progressing, and you have
nonstop.
nonstop.
There's guys out there that I don't even know if there was a level cap, because there'd be guys that.
And that's the thing,
your
like, I
infinite
didn't really
masters
confuse
that-
me with Destiny. Is I picked it up because I'm a huge Bungie fan. I loved Halo.
Josh, it's like my love, my endless love.
It's endless, like Kyle's love. I can never get enough. But I did get enough of Bungie. So
Yeah.
Kyle's love
I-
greater than Destiny.
T-shirt idea. Kyle's love is greater than Bungie.
I got bored with it. Like, I did the rating, and I was like, this is really cool.
Yeah.
Completed it. And I'm a huge multiplayer guy. I played the multiplayer. But like you said, you stopped progressing.
Yeah.
Unless you find your armor, which you can
can't-
play
you
all
can't
night.
do.
And,
And my big issue I had on that game was the fact that I beat the game and I didn't realize it.
yeah.
And it's like, I sat there just kind of
Wait a
confused.
minute. You beat a game and you weren't sure about it?
For real. Like,
have you played
you
much of Destiny, Kyle?
I haven't even downloaded it.
Okay,
So
so basically,
I purchased
yeah.
it.
yeah, so here's your premise. The darkness is coming. You need to stop it.
Weren't they stopped in 2006 when they couldn't get it together?
Oh.
Oh.
I believe in a thing called love. This is in my heart.
I would play that game right now if they were the enemies.
They should be the end boss. They should have been the end boss.
Yeah.
You can end humanity. Ow!
If you can make it through a 3-song set list, you win the game.
Yes.
But
Anyway,
Going back
so
to- yeah.
that's the premise is the darkness coming. You're the chosen one. You and a million other players are the
Yep.
chosen ones to prevent the darkness from spreading. You go to
Chosen
Earth.
one!
You go
Sorry.
to Mars. You go to Venus, and then, or what is it? You go to Venus, and then you go to Mars, and then you meet this queen who serves no purpose, and then
That's
it's-
it.
And that's it. And then it's like, hey, go to this planet. Okay.
Here's the rating mission. And the
And-
concept is so cool.
The concept
Oh.
is great, but it was literally, and I'm gonna ruin it for all of you listeners out there.
Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert.
Yeah. So you get to the end, and it's the exact same bosses you've been fighting the entire game, except you get 3 big guys in consecutive order. They don't even all attack you at the same time. One big guy wakes up, you blow him up, takes about a minute. Second guy wakes up, you blow him up, takes about a minute. Third guy wakes up, and they're all exactly the same. It's not like they didn't tier up. The level 2 or the level 3 weren't that much stronger. Like, oh shit, like I don't even know if I like took damage during that. It was just like, okay, keep shooting that bad guy, stay under cover. Okay, keep shooting them.
It becomes more about how long you can last as opposed to how much skill you have.
Yeah, and then just like that, and it was just like, oh, great, you've saved us. And then you go back to town. The mayor gives you a high five, essentially.
Yep.
It's like, thanks, you saved us.
See, that's
and then you sit there, and there's no credits, there's nothing. And then it's like, I sat there, I'm like, okay, and I went through all my grids, and I'm like, what didn't I complete? And
everything.
And it's like, oh, I guess I can do some Crucible, which is the online multiplayer, which is awful when you're at this point of the game. The way that tier system is for multiplayer is 100% worthless, because if you're a level 1 person who has never even touched a controller before, you're getting tossed in with the level 30. I can't. My guy right now at level 22, in any multiplayer match that I drop into, I'm a one-shot kill for any guys I go up against. And I can't even, there's not a single weapon in my arsenal that's even going to begin to inflict any type of damage. It's not
balanced in that sense, as most of the time, like with your Call of Duty or with your Halo, you can choose your starting gun, but all the guns are fairly balanced. Here you just pick up the ones that you get from the campaign, which works in like a World of Warcraft, because I know they do the player versus player, but like it's again, it's a different game, different system. And the other part of it is, so they have a 10-year plan for Destiny, right? You and me, we're bored with Destiny at this point.
Yeah, I was done with it in 4 days.
What am I going to pick it up for? There's new games coming out that I'm going to check out. Master Chief Collection. I love Halo. I picked it up. It didn't work. I haven't picked it up. They say it's working now, but what's the point? I mean, I wanted to play it then. Yeah. I don't want to play it now.
When I think the big issue there, like with that Chief Collection as well, it's like Bungie kind of pushed everybody, where there was like, hey, go to Destiny. They didn't say they were done with Halo, but that was kind of the general consensus on the Bungie side. It was like, Destiny is our new franchise. This is what we want you guys to play. For those of you that want Halo, you can still play Halo.
Studios,
yeah, go get that. But in the meantime, this is how we're going to focus things. And I think they kind of dropped the ball. And I myself, I don't know, with so many of these games where I want co-op play, I want stuff like that, and like where my one thing I take that back, I'm not 100% sure, but like Lego does not offer any type of online co-op yet, does it?
Does not.
Nope.
And it's prime for it. Like, I would absolutely love, and if anybody from Lego or Traveler's, is it Traveler's Tale?
Yeah.
Traveler's Tale that makes those. If any of you guys are listening, I mean, could you imagine a 4-player online co-op? I mean, for a Lego game, that would be amazing. I mean, all you have to do, essentially, and you could keep everybody confined, kind of like how they did the old X-Men's and Turtles in Times and
Marvel Unlimited Alliance.
Ultimate Alliance,
yep.
yeah. And those ones, awesome. Like Lego, to me, is prime for that.
Oh God, yeah.
And going back on this DLC, so with the Green Arrow, that is what we were talking about, by the way. Green Arrow DLC for Lego Batman 3, available now on all consoles.
Really?
Somewhere in there, if you guys want to download and edit this podcast and just cut out the Green Arrow DLC parts, feel free. And then send it back to us, and then we'll post that as another podcast.
We get the rights to it.
Gonna need you to sign a release form. Anyways,
are we that lazy now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Edit
We're gonna outsource. We're gonna outsource
our own editing.
Kyle, you
Our
brought that
own
up like
podcast.
4 times last week in the podcast. Like outsourcing merchandising, video.
But I never talked about outsourcing the actual product.
Yeah.
Now we can't even be bothered to edit audio.
No. God, this
and not even edit audio, splice audio, cut audio
it's difficult things.
Hard stuff. But I mean, yeah, like co-op, they have 2-player local co-op, which is awesome. Mm-hmm. But If we look at Mario Kart 8 or what the hell, Super Smash Brothers, people can play that. Like multiplayer, people want it, but no one will give it to them.
Yeah. And I understand maybe on one aspect that, Lego is they want you to be playing at home, and I suppose we should put the proclaimer on there, or the disclaimer, however you want to word it. We are adults playing a game that is designed for the 8 to 10-year-old range, or actually I think they say 6 to 10. Although, for Christ's sake, some of those puzzles are stupid, ridiculous.
They make me so mad. And every time I'm like, this is made for a fucking kid, and I can't figure it out.
Yeah. And again, going to you Lego guys, if you're listening, just, what, if after like 5 minutes, just give us the quick little blinky arrow or something. I mean, I don't know how many switches and shit, it's like, I didn't even realize that was a switch.
Yep.
Oh.
You can use Captain America's shield to douse the flames.
Yeah.
While they come back.
Yep.
And they have nothing to do with the puzzle. All right. Anyway. I love those games are so fun though. That's the thing is, with Destiny and with Watch Dogs, with whatever, like those games are fun, too, but there's so many complaints, but if I'm thinking of something to complain about Lego Batman 3, there's no blood. And there's it's not a brutal Batman game, but it's a Lego game.
We've got the Arkham games for that though.
Make a game like
For
Lego Batman without
adults.
Legos.
Yeah. Well, no, you could even be Lego. I mean,
it's just a
could
game. You should make a Batman Lego game, but hold on. We're not going to put any Legos in it, but it's going to be like Lego Batman. You mean like Arkham?
Right, so
it's going to be nothing like Arkham.
Okay.
I will say this for Lego Batman quick too. Before Arkham Asylum came out, that was the single best Batman game that I had ever played, and I've played my fair share of them. So if anybody out there is still on the fence about the Lego games, get off the fence. Go buy those games. They're awesome. I've got like the Harry Potter games, the Lord of the Rings, Star Wars, Batman.
They've yet to Pirates of the Caribbean. They've yet to make a bad one.
Yeah.
Which,
if anything, I mean, maybe we are getting a little staled out.
Yeah.
I mean, I myself, when I picked up Lego Batman 3, I traded in. I got rid of like my Marvel, and I got rid of my other Star Wars ones that I had, and things like that, because I feel they are all very fun.
Oh yeah.
But at this point, do you think these guys could just give us Lego World? I mean, just straight up, and then you could be, think of that. Here's the game. You go drop your $65 on Lego World, which is going to be that engine that they've perfected already. And then here's my $8, my $7.99 DLC. Here's Batman. Go to Gotham. Here's, because I think they have Lego City.
Yeah,
which it kind of does that.
Wasn't there a Lego MMO that was released a couple years ago that they were kind of?
I think they tried for PC. I don't know if that one really went anywhere.
Failed miserably.
But I think if
everything wasn't awesome.
Right,
it's true. Well, it also was an MMO that wasn't World of Warcraft. So
yeah, and I think
it had that against us
with or like now or going back. Just sidetrack the sidetrack. Going back, one big thing I've loved about the Lego games is for, I don't know, former and still part-time OCD freaks like myself, this allowed me to have a digital Lego collection, a digital minifigure collection.
Right.
And I'm one, and my girlfriend and I have this talk just about weekly, because I fully admit on the air, I mean, I am a collector / hoarder when it comes to certain things.
Yeah, no.
And it can be a battle sometimes. And like recently with Lego DC Justice League sets coming out, when those hit the shelves, I'm like, fuck yes, I can officially, like, that switch went off in my brain that I can be done with Lego minifigures after this. I can complete my Justice League, my core Justice League now officially, with a Green Arrow and Cyborg, and I can have them all in there in one case up on my wall, and I'm done. I don't need any more Batmans. I don't need any more Supermans. I don't need, I've got Martian Manhunter now. And it's like, hooray! But in the game, I mean, there's 180 some characters. And that is fantastic, and that's the big thing I absolutely loved with Lego Marvel, is that's kind of how I viewed it, was as my digital Lego minifigure collection, and you get to play with them and have fun with them, and The only thing I could see Lego building on, or Traveler's Tales bringing on, is start incorporating the maybe, I don't want to say that Minecraft aspect, but if you take the, like, Infinity and Skylanders and stuff, create your own level.
Yeah.
They did that with this. This is gonna. All right. So this is how. Whatever. Take this as you will. There was a Toy Story game that came out that was kind of like that, where they're like, here are some sets, here are the toys, make your adventure. Mm-hmm. So you would have the aliens and Mary Bo Peep in the West doing her thing, and it was cool because you can pretty much do whatever. You were given the freedom to play God within the Toy Story world, or what have you. So there's no reason that Lego couldn't do the same thing.
Yeah.
And with how many sets, how many everything.
And here's a prime, and again, Lego, if you're listening, here's your digital download, your digital set. How badass would that be?
Oh, the DLC, yeah.
So right now, I bought my Dark Side Attack set, or whatever it's called, my Brainiac Attack set at Target. Now, if that had the DLC right there, I can go on to Lego Batman. And if I could punch in that DLC code right there, unlock Brainiac, unlock the Brainiac Attack mission or something like that.
That would be awesome, actually.
Holy hell.
I mean, yeah, using
I'm
games
shocked that doesn't exist.
Yeah, because
using games as a medium for that, too, because
I go home, the Skylander theory.
Yeah.
Really?
It really is.
It's the Skylander theory.
Yeah.
If I go home and play with Mike, if me and Mike are like, hey, you want to play Legos? We're grown men playing Legos, whatever.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, dude, how'd you get that flaming helmet? Well, I went to Target and I bought this thing.
I bought this.
Well, you know what I'm doing tomorrow? I'm going to Target, buying the thing. Hey, now I got a flaming helmet.
Yep.
I got recon armor. You're banned. Haha.
You're done.
Yeah. You're done.
So,
Speaking of done,
Josh,
we've lost Josh.
steps away from it, apparently.
which seems like a good place to end it.
This does. As Josh exits the room, we're all going to exit the room.
He has to take a poo.
Which we
We don't, but we're gonna go help him out. Make sure he's okay.
Nope, not true.
Not true. Anyways, thank you guys so very, very much for listening. This has been another Rambling Random C3 podcast. Volume 2 we'll be back before you know it with more comic, cinema, and culture related news, and consoles and computers and chicks and chips and
if C is for cookie, man, it's good enough for me.
That's right. And with that, we bid you guys adieu. Happy New Year. 2015 is upon us. Oh yeah, Star Wars comes out this week. Number 1, Arrow season 2.5.
Say that shit in the video, dude.
Mike. Is that okay? Everybody ready?
We're crossing worlds here.
Everybody ready?
Yeah, go.
Goodbye.
Good night.
Tasty.